Yeah, my name is Kevin Z. I'm with Waterway Construction for MD. And then I guess we'll go down the list. I guess I can call them. I think the next person is Lynn Bristol.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Lynn Bristol. I'm the president of the Monocacy National Battlefield Foundation. We are the official nonprofit partner to Monocacy National Battlefield. And I thank you for inviting me. Thank you for the opportunity to meet with you and speak with you today.
Great. Thanks, Lynn. Then I guess Becky, you're on next.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see folks again. I'm Becky Roman with the Maryland Historical Trust. I'm a preservation officer and architectural historian assigned to review this project.
Next, I have Bruce Dean.
Sorry, I was on mute. Land use attorney for the applicant.
Perfect. Great. Next, Chris Mariga.
Good morning. It's been a while since I've seen some of you. Chris Mariga with Harris Mariga. So we're the civil engineer and land planner on the project.
Great. Dixie Henry.
Good morning, Dixie Henry, the administrator of the Project Review and Compliance Unit at the Maryland Historical Trust. I'm also one of the archaeologists at MHT.
Awesome. Thanks, Dixie. We have Dylan Person.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Dylan Person. I'm an archaeologist who works at the American Battlefield Trust doing a Section 106 review and kind of associated things for mainly for our land acquisition projects. And yeah, we're looking forward to hearing more about this and being a consulting party. Thank you.
Great. Thanks for joining. Oh, great. We have Elizabeth Chateau. I hope I pronounced that last name right. Elizabeth, are you there? I think I have you on the list.
And if she doesn't know, there's a way to unmute yourself.
You don't.
Oh, there. Oh, you're good. Yep.
There you are.
Okay. So hi, I'm Liz Chateau. I'm the director of the Heart of the Civil War Heritage Area. So we include Frederick, Carroll, and Washington counties, and we're happy to be a part of this process.
Great. Thanks for joining, Elizabeth. Jenny Russell.
Hi, I am president of the board of directors of Frederick County Landmarks Foundation.
Okay. Then I have Catherine Caranda.
Hi there, Kate Caranda. I'm with
Caranda,
Goodwin
sorry.
I'm with Goodwin and Associates, and we're the cultural resource management consultants on the project.
Great. Lisa Greditor.
Lisa,
right?
yes, I'm one of the land use attorneys on the representing the applicant.
All right, great. Thanks, Lisa. Natalie Snyder. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, I'm Natalie with American Land Concepts. We're the environmental consultants. We're the ones that submitted the JPA to MDE. And Kevin George was in intermittent reception area today, so he may not be able to get on.
Okay, thanks for letting me know, Natalie. Okay, we have Praj K.
Yeah, hey, good morning. Praj Kaspikar. I am with Washington Freedom, the applicant.
And then we have Rohit Anand.
Yes, good morning, everybody. I'm with the Acers Infra Washington Freedom. We are the applicant.
Okay, and Sarah Hoffeditz. Hope I say that correctly. Sarah, are you there with us?
Nope. Hi, my name is Sarah Hoffeditz. I am a historic preservation planner for the city of Frederick. I'm interested in hearing more about this project and seeing how we're moving forward with it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sarah. All right. Sounds good. All right. So I think that's all people we have right now, but maybe more will pour in a little bit later. Okay, so great. So I'd just like to briefly state the state's role in this project. So I'm going to cheat a bit and just read off of the invitation letter that I had sent a while back. So the Maryland Department of the Environment Waterway Construction Division is currently reviewing a cricket field application for construction activities involving impact to the 100-year floodplain. So the 100-year floodplain is something that state regulates. So that will require a state issued non-tidal wetlands and waterway permit in accordance to COMAR 261704. And so as a part of the permit review process, NDE is required to consult with the Maryland, someone joined. Oh, it's George. So MDE is required to consult with the Maryland Historic Trust, MHT, for proposed work in the permitted area that may affect archaeological sites and historical properties pursuant to MHT Act of 1985. And a little bit more detail, the proposed undertaking is located within the Monocacy Battlefield, a National Historic Landmark historic district. And so there are some buildings, structures, and landscapes contributing to the Monocacy Battlefield. And based on MHT's assessment, the project will have an adverse effect on the Monocacy Battlefield through physical removal of contributing bank barn, stone outbuildings, and landscape, and through alteration to the setting of the district caused by introducing a large modern athletic facility in this part of its landscape. It was determined that no archaeological resources will be affected by the undertaking. I know the applicant has prepared a brief presentation. And I just want to let you know that the scope of the project has changed since its initial submission, so I'm sure there'll be some clarification with that. Praj, did you want to share the screen, or does that work? Yeah. Do I need to let you, or are you able to just by your own?
Let me.
I don't know if I need to grant you permission.
Okay. It's asking me some like allow is what. Like, give me 1 minute.
At the bottom, it's the monitor with the arrow in the middle of it pointing up. I think that's the share screen.
That's share screen button.
No, I know.
You,
Yeah,
you have that?
Yeah, I do. It's just.
Or I could share my screen with I have it open, and then you can just direct me to change slides if you like. Either way.
No, let me do this.
Sure.
Only because I don't know why it started doing this. It was doing fine before I joined this call. So
Yeah, it wouldn't be a meeting without technical difficulties.
yeah, it's me. It's asking me to quit, come back.
Do you want me to share my screen? Is that okay?
Yeah, that'll be fine. I mean, it's
okay. Let's see if this works. Okay. And to avoid Mary, to avoid, don't share your entire screen. Okay, let me see. Is this working for everyone?
I see the agenda slide.
Okay, good. Everyone sees the agenda slide. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Yep, I do.
Great. Praj, do you want to, should I just hand it off to you then?
Yes, this is Rohit. Praj will help with this as well, and I'll get us started here. Once again, thank you all for your interest in this project, and we look forward to working with all of you, the consulting parties. And so a couple of things here. We'll get started with just kind of describe to you the existing conditions. Then we'll show you sort of where the floodplain comes in and what we're actually doing with the site, and then we'll talk a little bit about at the end of, and we have a precedent image or two of what this would sort of what our vision looks like as a precedent image. So and after that, of course, I would think we can have a discussion. So we'll just sort of start with that. Kevin, if you could advance the slide, please.
So sorry to interrupt, but Kevin, if you want, I can share it now. It kicked me out. Now I'm back. So let me just, if you don't mind, I can.
I'll stop sharing.
Okay.
If you want to give it a go. Go for it.
Right. Let's see. They said it's allowed now. So let's see.
Oh, well done, Praj.
Yay.
All right.
Great.
Looks great. Thank you.
Okay. I assume you were already on this.
We were here, and we can go to the next one.
Okay.
So I think everybody's quite familiar with the area and the site and so on, but I thought it might be helpful just to have this out there and to explain where we are. I guess just to locate everybody, The oval at the bottom of the screen is the Monocacy Battlefield itself, that one, thanks. And so you get a little bit north of that, and there's a quarry that's just to the north of us. And then heading a little bit east, there's an industrial park east of that. And then to the north of that is Interstate 70. And north of Interstate 70 is the airport, and there's also another warehouse park. All of these are actually in that historically designated area. And then the oval with the Google mark there, that one, yes, is where we're located. And so essentially to the property itself, to the north is Interstate 70. To the south is State Route 144, which is a divided highway. And to our east is the Monocacy River, and to our west is currently some open land and an RV dealership that belongs to somebody else. So that sort of gives us a sense of where we are located with respect to the battlefield itself, and then all of the other improvements and so on that have gone on around us. If you go to the next slide, please. This is a little bit more blown up, and so you can see that the old National Pike of 144, which is the state highway to the south of us, and then between that highway and us, and the entrance to our property is actually a state highway park and ride over there. Yep, thank you. And you can see way west of us is the RV dealership there. And then there's open land. And then we have the river to the east, and then Interstate 70 to the north. So this is kind of a blow up of what we looked at. So the red line designates what our scope is for what we are doing with the project. The red line is matched up with what we have submitted to the city of Frederick for our rezoning application. And that is the extent of what we plan to do in order to get our cricket field on this. So with respect to sort of historical significance and so on, there are actually two structures on our property itself. All of the other structures that have been identified on this site are actually not on our property. We do not own or control those lots. So the two items that really are of note on our site is one is the old Baltimore Pike Jug Bridge remnants, which is down just not that one, Raj, that one. That one is on our property, but we are not doing any grading work or anything else on that in that location. The other one that is within our limits, within the red limits of our scope here, and that is the right there. That's the barn. That's the barn that is on our property and is located within the limits of what we are doing. So really, that's the only one that is within the limits. And if you look at the images on the right, the barn is the red building right there. That's the barn, and it's perhaps seen better days, and it's sort of quite decrepit, unfortunately, at this point, and not in use in any way, and so on. And then the other images there on the right hand side that you see are various other images of some of the buildings and artifacts identified that are really not on our property or in our limits. So this gives us a sense of what actually is being touched by this application that we have in and the work that we plan to do on the property. If you go to the next slide, please. So really just to give you a sense of what we have planned is we really want what we are doing is to be a sort of a sports centered area that Frederick residents, both city, county, and so on, can avail themselves of. And we would plan to have mainly cricket. And cricket, our season is in June and July, and it would be no more than 10 or 15 matches in the whole year, professional matches. We would open it up to some cricket academies and other amateur leagues that might want to play there for the rest of the year. But really, we will have our professional season only for 2 weeks or so in the whole year. And really, what we are looking to do is to honor what's there before us and create a park-like setting that folks can come and have recreate and so on when we are really year round and with the Monocacy River on our banks, which we really treasure. So that's sort of, and we'll give you a sense of what we plan to do here in the next couple of slides. You go to the next one, please, Raj. So this, once again, what we showed you in red on the previous slide is green here, and that shows the area that we will be doing the grading on the site itself. The actual floodplain you see is that finger that comes into the site right there. That's the actual 100-year floodplain. And so the portion of the floodplain that we will be grading somewhat is the area within the green. Outside of the green, we do not plan to do any grading in that area. So that's the area that's actually been floodplain and that we will be affecting. Next slide, please. And that's a site grading plan, as I'm sure you all are familiar with these plans. So as you'll see in the next image, the circular grading that you see there is actually where the cricket field will be. The cricket fields are circular or oval in nature. They're not square or anything like that. So that's where you see what we will be doing with the cricket field itself. And you see the floodplain finger sort of that sticks in there within that. And the rest of the site there will be some grading involved as well for access, ADA access, and some limited parking and so on that we will be providing on the site here. So the building that the barn that I spoke of earlier is what we have highlighted there in red, and that's the area that I guess would be affected by this. Now, since we learned from the MHT report that is of significance, and I can let Chris Mariga, our engineer, chime in if needed once we get into the discussion part of our meeting here. But we feel like it's easily regraded. What we're showing right now does affect the grading where that's located, but Chris feels like we can easily regrade this a little bit, and we'll certainly not affect the floodplain or anything else, and we will be able to preserve that barn when we adjust the grading there, which we don't think is a big deal. So that sort of gives you a sense of what we actually are planning to do on for our cricket park here. Next slide, please. So this is not our park, but this is the precedent image of what we are planning to do. This is actually a similar size cricket field in New Zealand. It'd be about similar capacity. This one is about 8,000 to 9,000, and we would be maximum of around that ourselves. And so you see that this is not a M&T stadium or a Northwest stadium and a heavy NFL park or a baseball park. It's quite bucolic in nature. It really sort of preserves a lot of the open landscape. The seating itself, we plan to have, and you can see a sense of it in the top right slide there, and also at the bottom. The bottom that shows you that Praj just highlighted. About half the seating we plan to have grass banks, as you see people there, and people will lay out blankets and so on and sit down, and that's about half the seating. We will have a few, and if you all are familiar with how a golf tournament is run, or even the Formula One races, where essentially a couple of months before they bring in the bleachers and seating and so on, and it's sort of very temporary in nature, and then those are used just for that golf tournament, and so we have a similar plan for this. In terms of the seating would be a bleacher style, movable actually. Same thing with the hospitality suites. You see this in the top right slide. You see the hospitality suites there, and those are also in a similar fashion where there are providers all over the country that bring those in for us. So in brief, that is sort of what we are planning to do. It's sort of very bucolic in nature. It's very open. Considering that this was actually approved or well underway, and it's currently zoned to allow a super Walmart. And a super Walmart with all of the parking and all of the vehicle trips and all of the asphalt, I think would not be a great use for this location. And I think, we feel like our use is really much more appropriate for what we have here. So just a brief introduction for you of what we're planning to do. And I guess turn it back to Kevin for any comments, discussion.
Sure, thanks. Appreciate that, Rick. So yeah, I guess now we'll just open it up to comments and questions. I know there are some messages in the little chat message box. Becky, did you want to clarify something, Becky, or did you just want me to read the message? I feel like people can just unmute their mic if they like and kind of go at it if they have questions on the presentation and project. So,
Becky, were you going to clarify your point?
oh yeah, go ahead, Becky. Thanks for reading.
Yeah, I
You
was
can go
just
ahead.
opening up to ask if that's what you wanted. So there's there's Monocacy Battlefield National Park, and then there's the Monocacy Battlefield National Historic Landmark kind of district. And that was recently expanded, and it was approved in December of 2024. However, with the change of administration, the final form and boundary have not yet been provided to MHT as the state's Historic Preservation Office. So it is not yet reflected in our online GIS Medusa. And so it's not like those layers can be provided to anyone or even downloaded or copied. So, and I just always like to remind people of that, that this can happen, especially when it's Park Service or a certain federal agency doing the work. There can sometimes be delays in getting us the final, which we need to get it into that system. And I believe we have the mapping and can get it to anyone on hard copy from the Park Service's website in December, if needed. So I just want to let everyone know that. And our team as well has the draft copy of it, but not the final. So that was kind of the point of my chat little thing. And it does encompass this entire property.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dixie. I had my mic muted. All right.
Thanks, Kevin. And thank you, Becky. And thank you, Rohit, for that really useful project sort of update. Yes, there were a couple images here I hadn't seen before. This was really helpful. And I appreciate the project information. And I did want to clarify something because I know it can be really confusing when projects are under review for historic preservation. It's similar but different from when you're looking at wetlands and rare, threatened, and endangered species and whatnot. And one of the things I certainly understood and appreciated your comments towards the beginning where you were talking about the boundaries of your permit area, the I think shown here by the red polygon, and that there were several historic properties sort of called out in some of the correspondence that's taken place that aren't within that red polygon. They aren't within your permit area, and that is true. But one of the things that we're required to assess are indirect impacts on historic properties that they aren't necessarily located within the boundaries of your project area, the places where you're going to have physical ground disturbing activities, or the area that is sort of bounded by, the permit that you're receiving. But rather visual impacts is the most common indirect effect that we look at, especially when we're looking at battlefields and such as this one that's a National Historic Landmark. So that's why you will often see us referring to historic properties that they're outside of the permit area, but they are within what we call the area of potential effect, the APE. And that's the area that we're required by law to assess the potential impacts of the project on.
Dixie, we didn't hear a word you said.
I think I did get what Dixie said, so
Yeah,
I'm not sure if.
Yeah,
his audio came clear to me.
Well, I'm unmuted, so I don't know what happened.
You're good.
We do have this recording too, so hopefully at the end, I don't know if people need to go back. I'll try to. I don't know how it goes with sharing Google recording, but I'll try my best to kind of disseminate those, distribute those recordings. But Dixie, I think your audio came in clear for me.
Okay.
But you can go on.
No, I'm done. Thanks.
Okay. Well, I have a Richard Griffin. Hi, Richard. Go ahead.
Hi, Kevin, and everyone. I just wanted to say a few words. I'm with the City of Frederick. I'm Director of Economic Development for the city. I work out of the mayor's office, and of course, the administration has been supportive of this project as it has moved through the normal planning process. And I just wanted to point out that we worked very closely with the National Battlefield as they were looking at expanding their overlay or whatever it's called. But during that process, we certainly made it clear that both here and at the Bowman Farm that there was development that was anticipated, and it was assured to us that, you know, the purpose of this overlay was to evaluate and make sure that we document, you know, historic assets, but not to prevent or keep projects from being able to move forward. So I just, you know, in the spirit of that, wanted to make certain that that I just went on the record as saying that, you know, the City of Frederick is both pro-preservation and we are also pro-economic development. And it seems to me that this project really is in the spirit of both camps. One of the things that the cricket stadium or cricket facility is looking to do is to provide reasonable interpretation and access. And so it seems to me that there could be opportunities for interpretive things to occur in the area that would help people understand some of the history and elevate the education of the community around the value of the Monocacy Battlefield and Monocacy River area to that. And then in closing, I'll just say that you know, that the images that have been shown, obviously, we think are far superior to a big box retailer, which could be the case here, and in our opinion, would be far more detrimental to the battlefield overlay, to the Monocacy, and to the river itself. So just wanted to make sure we went on the record as saying that the city is certainly supportive of this concept and idea as it's moving through the process. And we appreciate the state. We work closely with the state planning department and with MHT, and look forward to continuing to move forward.
Thank you. Becky, I know you had your hand raised. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to Richard for pointing that out. This is a process. Agencies have to consider the effects of what's called their undertakings in the regulations on historic properties. So I wanted to thank Richard for pointing out that this is not a process that stops projects. It might make the steps to get to approval take longer, right? But it certainly doesn't stop projects. So thank you for that. In addition, I want to clarify with everyone that this is a National Historic Landmark District. And this landscape was considered part of it, or what's called contributing to it, so that where the cricket field is proposed. And I'm not going to talk to effects, but I just want to clarify that with everyone. Landscapes are often not pointed out like buildings and are often not delineated in such a way like a building might be. But if you read the draft NHL update that we got off the NPS website, it clearly calls out this property. And I think our original letter pointed that out, as I believe the one from the NHL office did, and Catherine Smith. So, so I just want everyone to understand this entire project is taking place within a National Historic Landmark district. So those are effects we have to consider legally, as Dixie stated. It's not just about archaeology sites in the footprint, and it's not just about buildings that may be extant and coming down or not coming down, and then surrounding properties for the area potential effect. So, so thank you to everyone.
Thanks for clarifying that, Becky.
Oops, hit the wrong button. My apologies.
You're fine. You know, I actually had Lynn, she had sent a message in the in-call messages. She says, and Lynn, feel free to unmute your mic if you want to speak. I'll just read off your comment though. Earlier images included commercial shops in the lower right-hand corner closer to the jug bridge. I do not see the footprint for that in these images. So I don't know if the applicant or someone from the applicant side wants to clarify that. Or Lynn, if you have anything to add to that, to your comment, feel free to speak.
I had attended the meeting, I guess it was the end of August or early September, where he presented a slideshow, Mr. Anand, or it was your attorney representative. And I understood that in the lower right-hand quadrant, I would call it, outside of the polygon indicated in red in the image that you're showing, that there would be an access road to an area that would include restaurants, some kind of commercial enterprises. I don't exactly know what the concepts were for these types of businesses, but food vendors. Then I also recall that you wanted to create a commercial development out of this to have access to the river as a boat access.
So that was actually not commercial, that was public. That's for the city's parkland requirement. And so what was shown were some concepts of what the city was looking for in terms of public access to the river.
Okay.
But it's not part of our proposal. It was something that we're sort of in preliminary discussions with the city. Chris, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but that was more of the, and that doesn't entail any filling of floodplain down there, right, Chris?
It would all depend, Bruce, on what that park ends up looking like and being potentially. So it's not associated with our project here for sure. It's definitely a separate request. It would have to be evaluated at some point.
But
okay, I wasn't aware of that. The way that it was shown in the particular slide, which I guess is in public domain, from my understanding, it's not something that is just confidential. Let's say.
No, it's not confidential.
It looked very developed in this southern aspect of the view that you're showing now. It looked a lot different than it does, and it was proximal. I would say that it was proximal to historical structures, particularly the Jug Bridge area. That's my observation. That's all this is an observation. So that's effectively an overlay over what it is that you want to achieve, which is apparently your property is in this black polygonal line, if I understand that correctly, and then the red aspect is the actual physical footprint for the stadium per se, and no other amenities associated with that, correct?
I don't see a black line that you're referring to.
Well, there's like a black outline or stippled. It looks kind of stippled. It's like it's there.
Yeah.
It's visible to
River
me.
is the-
I mean, I can't explain to you what a black line looks like other than it's a black line, and it's outside the perimeter of the polygon of the stadium.
Those are not property boundaries. Those are
No, I
lines.
mean, okay.
Those are referring to the images.
Of what?
The river is basically the eastern property line.
It's
You see there.
Franz, can you show what you're highlighting there?
Yeah, so the black lines you see, all they are doing is pointing out to all the structures that were referred to MHT's letter. So this black, for example, this black line talks about the Jug Bridge Toll House, which is located right here. This black line talks about the Jug Bridge remnants that are right here.
Okay.
And these two black lines is something that Becky mentioned in in her remarks about the open floodplain landscape. All is like denoting is what was in that letter. It's not any part of the property boundary or lines.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question about the black lines. Okay. But still, my observations are that this conception looks different than the one that was presented to us that attended that meeting in late August, as far as what the overall concept would look like, the finished product, so to speak. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for your question, Lynn. I think the heart of your question is a good one, and I think we this is what's shown in red is what we intend to execute on for our cricket park. That is clear. At some point, as in a different phase, and we have thrown out conceptual images here and there of what the city, in terms of what the city would want I think they want a boat dock and stuff like that. So there will at some point be perhaps a boat dock there, and but certainly no retail. And there would be a trail probably that they would require, but that's a future phase, and that's not really. So I think what we may have shown is sort of conceptual ideas of something that could happen there, really, but that's really not part of what we need to do for our cricket park. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you've explained why it looks different. Okay, so.
Good. Yeah, thank you for your question.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
And I'll just speak up. I can add. Thank you for that, Mr. Anand. MHT, that this meeting is for the state level permitting required for the cricket oval, which will be, I think, is what you guys really want to get in at this site to begin with. And of course, because you're local, you've been attending meetings as well about all of the approvals needed from the city. And we have no role in that. We have no legal or statutory role in that. So that can get confusing sometimes. So that's why this meeting is just about the cricket oval and what's needed, that project that requires the MDE permit for work in the floodplain. So, and I think it's hard because it's going through that local approval as well right now. So, and discussions with the city for that. And maybe the city staff can speak a little bit more to that. I can say they have a robust historic preservation and cultural resources program with the city of Frederick. So for anyone with concerns about the city approvals, I can certainly say it's a location that there are staff there that are watching that as well. So that's it for me. Sorry.
You're good. Thanks, Becky. Well, yeah, I still want to just leave this open for discussion. Does anyone, especially people that are wanting to participate in the ongoing, historic preservation consultation, anyone from that side, do you have any questions or would you want any clarifications? Anyone? Okay. Well, go ahead. Yeah, Dixie, thank you. Yeah, chime in, please, by all means.
No, it didn't sound like there was going to be a lot more discussion. So I just wanted to reiterate, and I also wanted to make sure if folks can hear me. It sounded like a lot of people could hear me last time, but a couple of people couldn't. Okay, good.
I got you.
Just reiterate the fact that this is a consultative process. The historic preservation law, whether you're dealing with a state or federal level, it doesn't prescribe a particular outcome, but it does require that we consult, we evaluate the potential impacts on historic properties. And if there's going to be an adverse effect on a historic property, something that's an effect that minimizes or takes away from, or detracts from the characteristics of a historic property that make it eligible for the National Register, if there's going to be an adverse effect that can't be avoided, that doesn't, like as Becky said, that doesn't stop the project. That doesn't cause a problem. It just means that there's going to be additional consultation, and we'd sit down and figure out what appropriate mitigation would be to make up for that adverse effect. Someone earlier today was mentioning this could be an opportunity for interpretation, publicly accessible interpretation on this site. But again, it doesn't stop the project. It just adds a little more consultation and a few more steps and the possibility of mitigation. And that's where we end up. Then we get through that process.
And Dixie, just to clarify one thing is that, we completely at the city support obviously the process, but we also support the urgency of moving swiftly. This organization is not able to sit for months and months and months while we analyze things. So there is a sense of urgency on the city side to assist this organization as they move forward through the process. And we typically at the city side, through our site planning process and our process, we have a schedule, and we put out the information to contributing agencies to provide their feedback, so that our applicants can, count on a time frame and be able to move through it. So I just would hope that we could work collaboratively with you all to try to make sure that any comments or any thoughts that we have, that we would do it as expeditiously as possible, so we can keep them on track through our planning commission and through our process. Not to lower the bar, just to keep the process moving.
Yeah, I understand that. And that's one of our goals always as well. I think one of the challenges at this point is going to be that because this is a National Historic Landmark, the Park Service has to be involved in the consultation and the development of the mitigation for the adverse effect. And that's just a big question mark right now when that's going to be able to happen.
Well, let's hope that they're all back to work shortly. I do know the park manager over there pretty well, and we can certainly reach out and encourage them to be prepared to provide some feedback. I'm confident that they will.
Yeah, thank you for that, Richard and Dixie. And there's a second Park Service office, and it's the National Landmark Coordinator. She should come back to work the same time as the staff there at the park, and she actually helped write the update. They worked together collaboratively a lot, right? Because it was an NHL already, but it's bigger now, the overlaying district. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. Is there, and maybe I should ask the two people here from Acers, is there an actual updated time frame so we can be aware of what that might be, so we can collaborate in terms of the city's review? I know it needs zoning, and then of course it goes to the site development plan process. Is there an updated schedule for that yet?
Let me weigh in on that, Becky. This is Bruce Dean. So the city paused the zoning application due to the recent city election. So our last public meeting with the city council was, I want to get the dates right, I believe late August, and then they went into a pause in September. The new city council, Richard, when did they get inaugurated?
It's the 10th, I think.
Of December?
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's the 11th.
11th of December.
Yeah.
And so in my discussions with staff, the city staff, and Richard, I'm referring to Gabrielle Collard and Christina Roderick, they believe that this is going to have to, we've already gone through the planning commission and gotten a recommendation of approval. We had a workshop with the old city council. This is going to have to be re-workshopped with the new city council. Sometime, the earliest would be late December, early January. But Becky, as far as dates and hearing times, none of that has been decided yet. And to a certain extent, it's going to depend on the new city council sort of setting their own agenda for what things they want to take on sooner rather than later. But the planning staff is fully aware that there is some urgency and that this needs to be moving forward as quickly in 2026 as possible. So I know that's vague, but that's the best I've got.
Oh, thank you very much for that.
I can also provide a little more guidance, and that is something perhaps you don't need to care about, or maybe you do, but we do have to close on the property in January, and we'd sure love to know what's going on when we go to closing. Again, I'm not sure you need to be concerned about that, but I can tell you that's in our minds. We do.
We do, exactly.
And and you've heard the other uses here, and this is not a threat by any means, and please don't take it as such. It's just reality.
No, I get it. Thank you.
And I appreciate you both, Becky, your and Dixie's comments you've been very generous with your time and listening to us today. So really appreciate that.
Absolutely, very much appreciated.
So I have a question of MDE on a similar type. Do you have, I know that the plans were in flux, right? As the team here from Acers was working with the city. And we really appreciate that. Thank you, to lessen the impact. So, but I'm going to ask MDE, at this point, the only design we have is the previous one, from back in the summertime. So at what point will you have an actual updated permit you think is ready to approve, so that we can get an updated submission related to the MDE permitting here at MHT?
Oh, right. So can you go over that again, Becky? What are you asking?
What I'm asking is we can't really make a new assessment of effect based on the presentation at this meeting. We need an updated submission with concept design and footprint, et cetera, based on what what MDE anticipates permitting or will be permitting. And then how does your permit schedule fit with the city approvals, I guess I'm trying to say? Because I want to understand that, and how, since we're all going to try to collaborate, right? I'm just trying to get the kind of schedule in my head.
Sure. So I think unless you need something else from the applicant, I think I gave you the most up-to-date impact sheets. I'm not sure if we can dig through that email, but the original impact showed a larger area of grading, and then I did provide the most up-to-date impact sheets. It's also in that project info page that's open to the public. But yeah, right now I think MHT is primarily depending on this outcome, and not to get sidetracked, but the zoning would also be something that needs to be cleared for us to move forward as well. So it sounds like that zoning might be also a sticking point, but we would need that. We would need to confirm or have it certified that the appropriate zoning is in place for the proposed construction. So I think those are the main things. Bill, I'm not sure. Do you have anything else to weigh in on? But yeah, but Becky, if you need more, by all means, if you need the most up-to-date plans or anything, or send it back to you, I'll be happy to do that. But
yeah,
okay, I just wanted to make sure there hadn't been yet further submissions to you.
I got you.
I just wanted to make
Kevin,
sure.
if you don't mind, if I can jump in, I think Becky, you asked an excellent question, and I think and we will take the responsibility for this. Really, the project has not changed. I mean, the limits of grading and so on that we've shown here, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we've changed our limits at all from day one. I think what confused everybody was that it showed some very, as you go through a project, you have like what could be, and it showed what could be. And that was always outside of this, actually. So it was never actually part of the original submission. And that we apologize has caused some confusion as to this being a bigger project than it was. It was never more than this. We always submitted just this red line to the city for approval. Am I right, Chris?
I think what Kevin was referring to is there was an original floodplain study that showed more of an impact, but that's all been
Okay,
updated since then to just the area shown in red.
okay. But the
Correct, Kevin?
project
That's
was
what we're
always
talking
within
about.
the red. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
You're correct. The cricket facility was always within the red, yes.
yeah, I
There's
mean,
more shown, I think, at one point, but go ahead, Kevin,
Okay.
sorry.
yeah, no, I mean, and again, I could briefly just share my screen of what the initial was, and then oh, thanks, Prash. And then what's changed, so everyone knows what's the kind of the evolution of this project. So this was the very first impact plates that I believe we got, or this might not be even be this may be one of the revision.
I think that's the second version.
That
The
looks
second,
revised.
this is the second version. The oh man, shoot, trying to find the original impact sheet. Oh, hold on, I think I might have it. This was, oh, sorry, this has it changed? I'm not sure. It updated on my screen. Yeah, okay. So this was the original. So obviously the extent was a lot larger. This is what was submitted in the JPA, and then it went through some revisions. And so this was the second. And then I think the most up-to-date one is, give me 1 second here. Cannot find it. Oh. Oh, sorry, no, this is the mass grading plan. Let me show you the impact. Revised impact. Sorry. And so this is, I think this is the final one that we have right now. Can you confirm, Natalie, or?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so I think I might have sent that to MHT, but Becky, if you need me to resend this again, this is really the pretty much the floodplain area that's going to be considered for permitting for this application. So that's really the change. That's the most up to date. I think I sent it a while back in the email, but I can send it again. And I think that's also reflected in the mass grading plan that the applicant has sent. So they're pretty much the same thing. Just so we all know what we're talking about in terms of the permitting area for the Waterway Construction Division. But yeah, it has changed.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I haven't printed it yet, so I'll probably get with you.
Sure.
I'm the keeper of our file for this. So
No,
I
that's
just, I don't have to talk with you about it now, but I just want to make sure I have everything.
Yeah,
updated
absolutely.
correctly
Yeah,
in our paper file. Yeah.
Sure.
So.
Great. But yeah, I guess moving forward, we still need to wait, Becky and Dixie, I guess we still need to kind of wait on National Park Services, obviously get their inputs, and I'd be glad if possible to send the recording, but I don't know if they would request an actual follow-up meeting, like a virtual meeting or not. I'm not sure how that typically is handled. But for MD, that's kind of where we stand right now, is really confirming that the zoning issue is resolved, that MHT kind of clears this as well. And I think those are the pretty big ones that we're waiting on.
So I'm going to ask, are there any other of the other consulting parties present? Thank you, Lynn, for speaking up, but does anybody else have any comments or issues they would like to bring up, or anything you could suggest if there is an adverse effect on historic properties, good ways to potentially mitigate that adverse effect, resolve it is the official language, what types of interpretive projects you might see. You can either speak up now, or I highly suggest you provide written comments back to Kevin at MDE. He's the keeper of those comments.
Becky, I do have a question. So, do we have a sense of when additional comments are needed? We will be convening our advisory council to sort of formulate some thoughts for you all.
I don't have
That's
a particular
great to know,
deadline.
Liz. Just copy us if you could, please, as you are a certified Maryland Heritage Area. Now, if you could please copy us, then we can work on that side of it with you, with MDE.
So you're looking for, I mean, comments about adverse effects, but it's not too soon to suggest some mitigation strategies also.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Great. And Lynn, I think you had your hand raised. Thank you. You can go ahead and speak.
I do. Thank you. I know we're getting late. I'll make this short. And you asked about interpretive aspects to this. Monocacy National Battlefield Foundation is in collaboration with the Maryland Department of Transportation, State Highways Administration, and the Civil War Trails to put in an interpretive wayside in that public commuter parking lot that is immediately in front of this proposed cricket stadium. It would not infringe on your property whatsoever. This is a project that we've been working on since last September of 2024, well before the Monocacy National Battlefield Foundation was ever apprised of your consideration of this parcel of land for this nature of project. So we're ongoing in our work with that, and I don't have the pointer to show you where it is, but it's in that commuter parking lot that you will be utilizing with your buses to access to your site of interest. So that's already something that's been in the planning stages for really over a year. So I'll just add that to the topic of interpretive contributions that can be made to this parcel of land.
Thanks, Lynn. And sorry, Jenny, I think you also have your hand raised, so go ahead and unmute your mic if you like.
Yes, hi, thank you. I'm with Frederick County Landmarks, which of course is a private nonprofit. I just wanted to mention that our office has received a few calls from concerned neighbors, and I just was kind of looking for suggestions on where to refer them to the city. Is that the appropriate place, or the city preservation office, if they have specific concerns?
Do you know what the concerns are about in particular? Are they really about historic preservation, or is it more had to do with flooding?
It's mostly having to do with, mostly having to do, because we advocate for historic preservation, so it is mostly in that direction. So
yes,
I can
so
refer them to MHT.
Yeah, their comments should go directly to the permitting agency and copy MHT.
So then in that case,
okay, great.
So that, yeah, and I had I typed in my email address in case everyone was curious, and that in-call message, that little chat box, kevin.scz@maryland.gov. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And if they have not provided them to the city, they should probably also do that, considering this project is going through city approval too. That's a whole separate process, even though there's city staff on this, in this meeting. And I'll let them speak to how to do it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I had suggested they contact the city historic preservation office, so I'm not sure if they did or not. But we do occasionally get calls from concerned neighbors. I think they think we're an advocacy group. So thank you.
Okay, great. Well, I think we're pretty much over. Oh, Raj, go ahead.
Yeah, just a quick question on the next steps. I think I heard some, but it would be great if you could just quickly summarize on next steps, because we do.
I texted her.
Okay.
She texted me.
Okay.
When was that? Just now?
Yeah, like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, she texted me.
Richard, I think your mic's on. If you could just briefly mute it. Sorry. Yeah, so
Sorry about that.
no, you're perfectly fine. I wasn't sure you were. So project was, yeah, asking the next step. Dixie, Becky, I'm not sure if you have kind of going to rely on your expertise on this situation with the ongoing consultation. What do you think is the best step moving forward from here?
Well, again, we're going to be looking at, again, make sure we've been provided with the most up-to-date plans that MDE would actually be permitting. But again, we're not going to be able to take many steps more forward without the Park Service.
Got it. So right now, is this really?
Yeah, the reason I asked, sorry, Kevin, the interrupting. The reason I asked is because the earlier letter or the comments that we received from MHT were based on a different scope. And this scope that we presented today has not changed since our public meeting that happened in August, September, Kevin? I don't know, seems a long time ago.
I think it was September.
End of August.
In
Oh,
September.
end of August.
So
Yeah.
nothing has changed, and the public page that Kevin referred to that has all of this information, which public have commented on. Nothing has changed since then. So I think at that point, we were told that MHT will review this scope based on what was in September and reissue the letter, because the earlier letter is not in, it doesn't talk to the actual scope of the project. So that's where I think my thinking here is like, just kind of want to make sure like that is updated, that consideration is updated concurrently with if we are waiting, because hopefully things can run concurrently rather than let's stop for one and then we, that was really what my concern here was.
Yeah, that would be our next step, would be to provide an updated letter with our comments and recommendations regarding an adverse effect. But again, we do need to do that in coordination with the Park Service.
Okay. Because the earlier letter was not conferring with the National Park Service.
Well, we're always consulting with the Park Service
Okay.
on these projects. Yep.
Okay. But is there like I know I keep asking and I have to, is there like an outward timeline here? I mean, how long will we be like waiting for them? I think that's I know we're all looking at the crystal ball here, but I mean, normally I think it's like 30 days, 60 days, like what is the timeline you're looking at? You think?
The 30-day review, once there's an adverse effect and we have to go into consultation with consulting parties, that 30-day, that it's however long the consultation takes to get the mitigation figured out, if that's where we end up, is having an adverse effect and needing mitigation.
Okay, so
but again, we can't give you a solid date. I wish we could. Yeah. We're going to try to make this happen as quickly as possible, but we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know when the federal shutdown is going to end. We don't know where this is on the queue for the Park Service. We're going to try to make it happen as quickly as possible.
So I guess really it's all of the next step is to try to get in touch with the National Park Service and the National Historic Landmark District and the landmark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm working with her on lots of projects. So, but yeah, Dixie is correct. And actually it's not 30 days for historic preservation review. It is 30 days for each submittal to our office. And we technically have a regulatory 30 days to concur with an agency determination of effect. So, at this point, I think that people can misunderstand that in some ways. And I know it can be complicated and hard to understand. So plus with ongoing consultation and a party on furlough, it makes it definitely more difficult.
Okay.
Thank you for that question. I understand, but sorry, I can't give you a good answer.
No, I mean, I'm learning through this process. So it's just good to know,
Okay, well, if there aren't any other questions or comments, I'm okay wrapping it up. Becky, Dixie, you're okay wrapping things up? And yeah, so I guess we'll just thanks for the thumbs up, Dixie. Okay, so again, I want to thank everyone for taking time out of their busy schedule to attend this consultation meeting. I think it was pretty productive, and provide some clarification. But again, if you have any questions or need to reach me, my email's in that little call message chat box. And I will try to distribute the recordings. Hopefully Google did this thing and recorded this, and then I can share this with people. I'll see how that goes. All right, well, everyone, thank you for your time. Appreciate it, and you have a wonderful rest of the day.